Hi everyone, Uncle Bart here for College Cuisine. Today we're doing a dish for my niece Jenny. She requested mac and cheese. As you remember last time we did shrimp scampi for my nephew Zach. So here's all our mise en place, which is French for everything's ready. Here is the raw elbow macaroni, which is really all you should use. Elbow macaronis or cavatappi, none of the ziti crap and stuff like that. Now, there's another kind of pasta pie I make with bucatini. That's another show. So, with great preparation, I already turned this into cooked pasta. That's over here that I'm not going to show you right now. So, here we have our baking czar cheese sauce. Butter, milk is over here. Cheddar cheese, quarter pound, with some jack. This is cheddar and jack cheese, shredded. Very good stuff. This is some mozzarella. This is Swiss cheese. This is provolone. A little knob of cream cheese and some brie. If you're going to make mac and cheese, go full force. And of course, plain old simple American processed cheese. This makes the best macaroni and cheese. That's why it was invented. So, I'm going to switch cameras so we can watch me make the cheese sauce. We'll mix it up. We'll put it into a baking dish with some breadcrumb topping and then bake it. It's a nice topping, crusty on top, and you eat it like that. If you want to just do pan, they call it stovetop mac and cheese, just go ahead and stop after you add the pasta to this. But this is for baked, all right? So let's get going. Let me switch the camera to another angle, which of course will mean a lap dissolve eventually. Here we go. Here we are. Let's get ready to make the cheese sauce. So here you got my saucepan here. We're going to put it on about number 5 because this is my high burner. I don't want the butter to burn before I cook it. All right, let me straighten out my pinny. Now we put into here 2 tablespoons of butter. You want to make a light roux. You don't want to do the full force, full fat roux. You want just enough to kind of like assist the sauce in not being too thin. And I've done this many a time. One time I made a mac and cheese. It turned into a brick. The bricks of Egypt were made that bad. I mean, let me tell you, it was god-awful. But I made it for a friend of mine, and he sliced it like a piece of cheese. And that's how he finished it. Here we go. Thank you. The butter's melting nicely, as you can see. Let me lower the temperature down a little bit, because like I said, this is my high heat one. Now let's put in 2 tablespoons of AP flour. That was a little short, so there's a little more. There we go. Get that out of the way. And we're going to make a bit of a light roux. We don't want it too dark because we are making macaroni and cheese. We're not doing etouffee or something like that. There we go. Like that. Okay, now. And of course, as with everything, you salt as you go along. Just a pinch right now. Now we take the milk. Take the milk and add 3 cups. And this is a 2-cup container. So we'll put in the 1 2-cup container. And then half of this. Voila. Always keep the stuff out of the way after you've used it. There we go. Now, give this a few minutes to thicken up. And then we'll start adding our cheese. Now, what we'll do is, we're going to, when I go back to the other angle, I'll have already taken the baking dish, lined it with, I'll show it to you when I get there. I'll just do a lap dissolve instead of sitting here like a shishamuck. Lap dissolve. You know, when the boys were little, they loved mac and cheese. And the problem was, it was a certain, shall we say, famous brand where you cook these stiggly little pastas and you coated them with butter, milk, and this powder, for want of a better term. And they loved it. And it broke my heart to watch them eat this stuff. But when I made my mac and cheese, they loved it. But then something magical happened. Velveeta. Yes, I'm mentioning a name. I'd love for them to sponsor me. Velveeta made that mac and cheese with the cheese in the bag. That was as good as mine. And that's what they ate for years. Until literally they went to college. Now, I don't know if they kept up the tradition because they got George Foreman grills and meal tickets. So God only knows. Always keep this stirring up a bit. You don't want that flour to settle down at the bottom. It's kind of like when you're making pudding. Same thing. But it's not like a risotto, like the first 10 minutes you gotta go boom, 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 boom. Because in a little bit we're going to start eating. In fact, you know what we'll do while I'm doing that? I'll take these cheese slices out of the plastic here. Okay, the roux is now thick enough, I can start to put in the cheese. But as always, take a test for salt. Ooh, need some salt. Good, 2 pinches. We'll use the handle this time. Better. Alrighty. See, it's very light bechamel. Very light. Let me get another taste. Yeah. First thing to go in, sliced American cheese. Stir. Now, the one thing you do want to do is stir everybody in. You know, don't put everything in at one time. Otherwise, then you make a glop. And do you know how long it takes to clean up a glop? Trust me, it ain't easy. Because somebody did that one time when he first started to cook. I'm not going to mention any names. Okay, see how that melted pretty quick? Voila. Alright, that's done. Now let's add in the cream cheese and the brie. Yes, skin and all. And if you don't like brie, don't use brie. But I love it. Next, the provolone. No, I take that back. This is the Swiss. Break the Swiss up just a little bit here, because it's a little chunky. There we go. This is very similar to a recipe I do, veggie casserole, that I would be using a lot of the same ingredients, but mostly Velveeta, never Brie. And then you put in a can of cream of mushroom soup. If you want to be a little bit, fancy, put in a can of cream of mushroom soup that just has some mushrooms. If you want to go really bananas, fry up some cubes of ham. So that's mac ham and cheese. And if you want to make it Italian, mortadella. Get some thick slices of mortadella. Mortadella is this terrific emulsion sausage with chunks of fat in it. But when you fry it, the fat melts and you get this nice fried, for want of a better term, bologna with holes in it that has an incredible flavor. For one thing, it has none of the stabilizers bologna has. It's pure pork and fat and spices. And, well, if you know what I'm talking about, you understand. If you don't, you'll just go, Italian bologna. Oh, it's more than Italian bologna. So, the funny thing is, it comes from Bologna, which is spelled like bologna. Well, not bologna, E-Y, G-N-A. There we go. That's melted in. Next, the provolone. I'm telling you, when I say making a cheese sauce, we're making a cheese sauce. And now, this is the cheddar and the jack. And again, all these cheeses I bought from Walmart, they all come shredded, like I said. They're good. They're cheap, but they're not cheapish, if you know what I mean. Because they're not doing advertising and stuff like that. There we go. Now, some people, I don't, they put mustard into this to give it color and a little bit of flavor. I don't like that. I like macaroni and cheese. I only add eggs to this if I'm making an egg pie that I told you about before. There's this pasta called bucatini. It's like long strips of spaghetti with a hole in it. And when you make a pie with that, look at that. Oh, man, Manischewitz. Check that out. Yowza. Just think what that's doing to the inside of our arteries. Huh, guys? That's why you don't eat this all the time. And now, the mozz. I was going to add Parmesan cheese. When I did the practice run, I felt it was too cheesy, if you know what I mean. It was too strong. But if you're going to do the pasta pie, it's fine, because you add in a few different things in this. But back to the pasta pie, you cook it up. Like I said, there's holes in it. And you put this filling on there. You put it in a loaf pan or a baking dish that's lined with breadcrumbs, like here. And you bake it up, and the top turns crispy, like little wires. You don't put the bread topping on it. You put it under it. Under it. Boy, I got to learn how to talk. And it's fantastic. My dad used to make that. I might make that as another episode, because I have the bucatini. I finally found some down here. One store wanted $3.50 a pound, and the other one wanted $1.19 a pound. Guess which one won? I can't tell you, because one of them may want to sponsor me. You never know. Don't hold your breath. All right, there we go. Look at that. That is cheese sauce. So let's switch camera angles. I'll put this into the baking dish, and then, of course, because there's only one cameraman today, you'll only get a picture of the finished product. But there you go. Look at that. All right, let's switch angles, and we'll put this thing together and put it in the oven. All right? See you in a couple secs. Hey, here we are back at the ranch. This is the cheese sauce all finished. And you remember I showed you that pasta? Well, magically, here it is, all done. We're about to dump it into here. But let me do this first. We take, well, first glove up. Because you get butter all over your hands. It's a real pain in the neck to wash off. And plus, you should always wear gloves when cooking. some stuff. There we go. And give us a good old smudge at the bottom here. And on the sides. And be generous, don't worry about it, because you're going to eat it all anyway. There we go. I took some Italian bread, Parmesan cheese, parsley, salt and pepper, ground it up real fine, and we're going to put it now at the bottom so there's a little bit of a crust. And on the sides. There we go. Well, this is enough now. Well, you're getting butter all over everything. That's how you just get it to the side, like this. We take our mac and cheese and fold it up in the pan here. Like I said, here is the pasta, macaroni. There we go. Now mix it all together. See that? Yeah. Now, in full disclosure, I saw how this might be a little bit much because I only used a half a pound and I used to make this for a full pound. I took about 2 cups out. So, again, take some out just in case, unless you make a bigger pan. All right, here we go. Let's get this added into here. Oh yeah, look at that. This is mac and cheese at its finest. There we go. Spread it out even. There we go. And get another glove back on, just to clean up the edge a little bit. There we go. Voila. Now, put some breadcrumbs on top. Now, I make my own breadcrumbs, but you could use panko, 4C, any kind of ready-made you like. And then on top of this, a few knobs of butter. And that would just spread out amongst the breadcrumbs, make it a little browner. So, here we go. Voila! Tutto finito. Now, I'm going to put this in a 350 oven for about 30 minutes or so. Keep an eye on it, because really it's fully cooked. You just want the top to get brown, a little melty. Something when you make macaroni and cheese in the oven, it really does something to it really good. So there you have it, macaroni and cheese from my niece Jenny. I hope you enjoy it. We'll have another episode soon, possibly even pasta fazool. In the meantime, eat more, enjoy, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
There's not enough light.